Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today's video is going to be all about disappointing products. I do talk a lot about products that I love. That's what I mainly focus on when it comes to review videos or just chatting about products, but I really like to update you on products that didn't work for me for different reasons. I have been meaning to talk about a couple of these products, so I hope this video is helpful. The funny part is that like most of these brands are my favorite brands of all time, but these products in particular just did not work for me. So I thought I would share them with you guys in today's video. And if you enjoy these videos, please like this video and let me know, and let's jump into it. Okay, let me start with a few products from ColourPop. The first one is the ColourPop No Filter Sheer Pressed Powder. I have the shade Light. So this is a somewhat new product from ColourPop, but I've been testing it out to see if it works for me. And unfortunately, it just doesn't. I actually do not like this product at all, not even a little bit. So I'm going to end up decluttering this after I film this video, but I feel like this powder is so light. And to be fair, it is called a sheer pressed powder, but I feel like I have other powders in my collection that are sheer that perform better than this one. First of all, the powder itself is very, very firmly pressed. So I feel like I really have to dig my brush into the product to get any of the powder on the brush to then get it on my face. And when I use it with a sponge, I get a little bit more powder, but not enough to actually fully set my foundation. I always set my foundation no matter what because I have oily skin, but I feel like maybe if you don't set your foundation regularly and you're just looking for the lightest powder in the entire world, then maybe this would work for you. But if you actually need a powder to lock everything into place so it doesn't move, or if you get really oily throughout the day, I don't think this is going to be the powder for you. It almost feels like a dry powder, and I think that sometimes I prefer dry powders because again, my skin is oily, but I just do not like this powder. It's such a struggle to use. It doesn't really set anything into place. It doesn't keep my skin from getting oily throughout the day, and I guess I just don't really understand it. I feel like I'd rather use pretty much any other powder in my collection. I have to say I was definitely disappointed by the ColourPop No Filter foundation, and this is something that I keep using and I keep wanting to fall in love with, but I feel like it's just not everything that I need in a foundation. I will continue to use this product on days where I don't need a super long-lasting foundation because there are aspects to this product that I enjoy, but as a foundation overall, I just feel like it was a little bit disappointing, especially because I love their concealer so much. The thing about this foundation is that it goes on so beautifully. The first time that I tried it and actually applied it to my skin, I thought that I found like my new holy grail foundation. It's very lightweight and it's very matte, so I feel like it's perfect for my oily skin, but at the same time, it has really good coverage for being such a lightweight foundation, and you can sheer it out, but you can also build it up really easily without it looking cakey or heavy on the skin. So even though I love how this foundation applies, it doesn't really hold up on my skin very well. I feel like after 4 or 5 hours, it really starts to break down and my skin looks like an oily mess. And listen, you guys, my skin is very oily. So if you don't have super oily skin, you might not experience the same issues that I have with this product or the powder. What do you guys think of this foundation? I think if you have dry skin, it might be a little bit of a struggle because it does tend to enhance dryness on the skin when you first apply it, but at the same time, it doesn't stay super matte throughout the day. So I feel like that could work to your advantage if you have dry skin, but if you have oily skin, it's definitely a downside in my opinion. But I had high hopes for it. I wanted to love it so much, and I do like it, but I feel like it's just I just get too oily throughout the day. So if you guys tried this out, let me know how it worked for you in the comments below because I'm curious to hear your thoughts. I have a few more face products to talk about. The next one is from e.l.f. and this is something that I thought was going to be a dupe for the Urban Decay Velvetizer powder. And if you guys haven't heard of that powder, it's basically like this translucent mix-in medium that you can mix into your foundation to make it look a little bit more matte, a little more velvety, and it also adds a little extra coverage to the foundation. So that is great if you like to customize your foundations. And this powder is different than the Velvetizer. It's a lot thinner. It's almost just like their translucent loose powder. That powder is so finely milled and so soft, and I feel like this powder is very similar, but it's so hard to explain. It's like extra silky, and if I tap my brush in like the tiniest brush with the tiniest amount and then put it on my skin, powder just flies up everywhere. Like I don't think this is meant to be a setting powder, but I also don't really feel like it works if you mix it into your foundation. It doesn't make my foundation look any more matte. It doesn't make it last any longer. I still get oily throughout the day. I just feel like it's not the same as the Velvetizer. And I know the Velvetizer is expensive, but you honestly just need such a small amount of that product to work. And even though this one's more affordable, I would not recommend spending your money on it because I feel like it just doesn't work. So this is just a deluxe size sample, but I've actually gotten a lot of use out of this product to decide whether or not I enjoy it, and I wanted to purchase the full size. It is the Too Faced Primed and Peachy Cooling Matte Skin Perfecting Primer. Again, I really wanted to love this, but it's so weird. Like, even though I have very, very oily skin, I feel like I really reach for hydrating or like smoothing or softening primers over mattifying primers. I feel like mattifying primers just make my foundation go on unevenly. My skin looks patchy, and it might make my skin look matte right in the beginning, but throughout the day, I don't feel like it leaves my skin any more matte than any other primer would. And I feel like that was the case with this primer. Even though it feels matte when I first apply it, and my skin looks matte and my foundation looks matte on top, as the day goes on, my skin gets really oily, and even more oily than it does with other primers. I just wanted to update you guys on this because I've been like testing it out for the longest time, and I just could not make my mind up, and I finally decided that I just feel like it's not doing enough for me. This is the product that I was like most disappointed in, just because I wanted to love it so much. It is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer, and I have the shade Nude Bronze Light. I love Hourglass products so much. I actually don't know that I've tried one that I haven't liked. Weirdly enough, I don't think I have, especially their face products. I really love their blushes. I just got into their blushes last year, and they're my absolute favorite. So I could not wait to try out the bronzer because so many people rave about the bronzer, and I got it during I think I got it during the Sephora VIB sale, and it was like the one product that I was so excited about, and it was not cheap. It was an expensive bronzer, and I think that's why I'm so disappointed. One, because I love Hourglass, and two, because this bronzer was expensive, but it just doesn't work for me. I don't like the actual formula of the bronzer. I don't like the actual shade. I feel like I love the blushes so much, and this one, it's just different. I feel like it doesn't blend on the skin as beautifully as the blushes. It doesn't look as nice on the skin. It's not as naturally glowy. Like, the blushes are naturally luminous and naturally radiant, and some of them do have glitter and shimmer, but some of them just have like that light diffusing powder mixed in, and this just does not look as beautiful on the skin. I don't like how it looks on my skin at all. So unfortunately, it took me a long time to decide whether or not I liked this product, and I think I'm just disappointed because I wanted to love it so much. It was expensive, but it's just definitely not my favorite bronzer. It's probably my least favorite bronzer that I at least have in my collection right now. So the Makeup Revolution Fast Base Stick Foundation is just not for me. And I did talk about this in a haul update, and a bunch of you guys were saying you loved it, so I don't know exactly why it doesn't work for me. A lot of you said that you get really great coverage, but I feel like I don't get great coverage with this product. I blend it out and it looks sheer on my skin. Maybe not sheer, it looks more of like a light to medium coverage, but when I try to build it up, like, it doesn't really add any extra coverage to the skin. It just blends out and it looks exactly the same. So I felt like I couldn't get enough coverage when I used this product. And then on top of that, my skin looked so oily by the end of the day, and I feel like a lot of stick foundations tend to be more moisturizing foundations. So they're not necessarily geared toward people who have very oily skin, but I do use the Hourglass stick foundation fairly regularly, not so much during the summer, but maybe more so during like the fall and the winter. And even though my skin looks a little bit oily with that product, it still holds up really well on my skin and gives me great coverage. And this one, unfortunately, just did not compare at all. The shade that I have is way too light for me, but even still, I did test it out a few times, and I just didn't like how my skin looked with this. So I'm going to be decluttering this product. I'm just going to stick with my Hourglass stick foundation. Even though that product comes with a small amount of foundation, it lasts a really long time because the smallest amount goes such a long way. It blends so beautifully. It's one of the best foundations that I've ever tried. So I feel like I'd rather spend my money on something that I know will work for me, that's just easy to use, that's fun to use, rather than something that's a little bit of a struggle that doesn't look really great on my skin. So I wanted to love it. So many of you guys love it, but unfortunately it just didn't work for me. Okay, and the last product is a hair product from my favorite hair care brand, Briogeo. Again, I don't think that there are really any Briogeo products that I've tried that haven't worked for me until I tried this one. This one is their Scalp Revival Charcoal and Peppermint Oil Cooling Jelly Conditioner. I love the Scalp Revival Micro Exfoliating Shampoo, which is kind of like the sister product to this conditioner. That works extremely well. It's one of my favorite products. It just exfoliates your scalp. I was excited when they were coming out with a conditioner version. This product doesn't work for me. This product is so strong. Like it actually burns my skin when I use it. And I don't know that it's actually burning my skin, but it has such a strong cooling feeling to it that my entire body just almost feels like it's on fire, but it's like a cool fire, if that makes sense. Like it's such a strong peppermint tingling feeling. And if you're applying it to your hair and then you're rinsing it out, it just runs down your entire body. And I can feel it even after I'm out of the shower. They make so many good like deep conditioners, like the Don't Despair Repair Deep Conditioner, and just they have so many amazing products that this one just wasn't as good. It didn't leave my hair feeling soft or smooth or conditioned or hydrated, and my hair wasn't necessarily more manageable. It wasn't less tangly. I just felt like it didn't work in general. Okay guys, that is the end of my video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful. I do like to go through and let you know which products didn't work for me from time to time, but let me know if you guys tried any of these products, and if you enjoyed them or if you didn't enjoy them, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.